The people who know me know that I don't generally keep a technology for a really long time until and unless it's really good. This is a review for such a laptop that I've had with me for a very long time. It's been almost 2 years, around 1 year, 11 months. And what do I think about this laptop? How has it been performing with me all this time? Do I plan on keeping it? Is it still worth buying? Are there better alternatives to it? Or if you had it for 2 years or maybe even 3 years, do you need to upgrade this to a different laptop?
What's up everyone, my name is Karan and you're watching my 2-year experience with the MSI GF63. Let's get to it.
Let's get the spec out of the way first. As you can see on the screen, it's got an i5 8th generation processor, which is still plenty enough. It's almost as capable as a 9th gen 9300H. Comes with 16 GB of DDR4 RAM, which I upgraded from 8 GB, but you have to do that for all your low to mid-range laptops. It came with a 1TB hard disk. I installed a 128 GB SSD, M.2 SSD, and along with that, this comes with a GTX 1050 4GB graphic card and a 1TB hard disk, a 15.6 inch screen, and which is a full HD 60 Hz panel, and it comes with the backlight of which is red in color. And it's an ultra slim laptop, which is the reason why many of the guys actually bought this machine, because around 2 years back, even right now, I would say a laptop weighing 1.8 kg is really ridiculous, and with such good specs. So that is the thing. I bought this for a price of around 70,000 plus spent around 55,000 more, so around 70,000 I bought the laptop with 8 GB RAM. Now you can get those same specifications for a really low price, for maybe 45 to 50,000 in some cases as well. So definitely the prices have come down, and at those prices, at 45,000 rupees, those laptops are amazing. I would say just go for them, eyes closed. But here is where I have the gripe. For just 5 to 6,000 rupees more, nowadays you can get laptops that have a GTX 1650 full, not a Max 2 version, a GTX 1650 full edition in it, and which performs approximately 65 to 75% more than this current graphic card. So it really makes those GTX 1050 laptops obsolete at 45,000, because just with 5,000 rupees more, you can actually get a laptop that is 70% better performing. That makes this laptop a little bit obsolete. But if you have this laptop, under what circumstances should you change this machine, or should you actually rethink of buying a new laptop? Well, if you have a budget of, let's say, around 70,000 rupees and 75,000 or 80,000 rupees, and you can get a GTX 1660 Ti laptop, go for that. I would still not suggest for you to invest into a GTX 1650, because although the GTX 1650 is 70% faster than this, it won't take too long for it to come down again, the performance for it to come down very soon. That's the reason why I don't suggest exactly investing in a GTX 1650 laptop. Now, for the people who don't actually have a gaming laptop and they want to get into the gaming market, do I suggest this one? Probably not, because one, it doesn't exist anymore, and MSI GF63 for 60,000 rupees is pretty decent, but it comes with a Max-Q architecture, and that severely limits the performance of a GTX 1650. Let's say it is close to 20% less performing than a full-size GTX 1650, which is just unnecessarily throwing your performance out the window. Why would you do that? And the thermals also won't be any better. I have lived with this design for a very long time with the MSI GF63, and the most amount of comments and the most amount of complaints that I've always got from everyone is one thing that you all would acknowledge it, is that why are the thermals so hot? Well, no matter what you do, you can't get the thermals way too under control. I mean, you can try a lot of things and then it can come into under some control, maybe under 80-85 degrees, but it really doesn't get into too much of a control. So again, I think I lost my track and I just started ranting there. But again, to get back into the main thing, I would not suggest this laptop. way too much. If you have a hard cap at, let's say, 45,000, you can get a laptop for a GTA with the GTX 1050. Maybe there's something from HP or from some other guys. But anything, if you have even 5,000 more than 45,000, so I'll say 50,000 or 55,000, go for a laptop with the GTX 1650 model, because you can get those. And even if you're getting something with a Ryzen 5 3550H, even that will be better than this if it's purely only for gaming purposes. Ryzen 5 3550 doesn't really hold back your performance or doesn't bottleneck your system that much. I want to tell you guys that I've updated my laptop is updated to 16 GB RAM, so the performance would be not representative of the first good that you would buy, the laptop that you would buy actually, but a representation of after upgrade what sort of performance I got. And it has a 128 GB SSD, but that should have no impact because none of the games that I ever install are on the SSD, it's on the hard disk drive. Now that out of the way, I just wanted to show you guys the Dragon Center that I have, and I have set the fan curves at advanced setting. So this is how my CPU and my GPU fan curve looks like. I don't know if you can see this, but this is how my CPU and GPU thing actually looks like. I have very slightly just had a small voltage core offset, so a little bit of undervolting in my GTX 1050. The reason I'm doing recording like that is so that you can see the actual frame rates without the dips and we can have more of a conversation. So the first game that we are going to start off with is Mafia 3. I call it a oldie but a goldie. The reason is this game released back in 2016 when GTX 1050 was actually released. Not this laptop was released, but when this GTX 1050 was released, and I'm using the highest possible setting. So global quality preset at high, and resolution is 1920 by 1080. So as you can see, the frame rates are around 37. The GPU has already gone up to 84 degrees Celsius, and you can see the fans are ramped up. They must be running at least I would say around 140-130% of what it should be, and the frame rates are pretty darn steady actually. So let's just break into a car and see what should we do. Okay. Right. Okay. So the moment you get into a car, the frame rate already goes down a bit. It's gone down to 32, 31, 30, but still above the playable frame rate, I would say. Sorry, I'm actually looking at the screen of recording, so that's why my driving sucks right now. In general also it's not that great, but okay. Yeah, so 34, 35, 36 frame rates, which is not terrible. It's actually quite good. Mafia 3, the way it was optimized, it was supposed to be a terrible GPU hog actually. You needed a really powerful graphic card to play this game very well. So 30 FPS is not at all, 30 plus FPS constantly is not a bad frame rate. And I've done multiple gameplays of this, so you can check out on the cards above. Hopefully I would have posted something over there. And you can see that the temps have risen again to 87 degrees Celsius. So pretty decent actually, but then the temps are something which leaves a bit of concern for me. I somehow feel that it should not. Okay, it's 88 degree now and 87. So okay, so I think the temps would mostly stay under 90, and I hope that is the case. Alright guys, so next game that we're looking at is Assassin's Creed Origins. This game was released way back in 2017, and roughly in the near about time when this gaming laptop GTX 1050 was very famous and was a prevalent graphic card to be used in a gaming laptop, and they were really expensive. So I just show you the specification. I'm using 1920 1080 and 100% resolution. I'm not doing anything over there, and graphic is high, and dynamic resolution is off, high again. So everything is at high settings. and not doing anything else. There's a small test code that has also come. FPS says average is 39 and it's saying a stable frame rate performance. So let's just get into it. I don't think it's 39. 39 would have been for something else, but then anyways, you can see that the frame rates are still way above 30 FPS. Not way above, but okay. And sometimes you can see that the frame rates, okay, they don't dip at least right now. Let's just do a gameplay for some time, and you can see the temps are already up to 87 degree. It doesn't thermal throttle at this, so that is one good thing. And the game is looking just this just looks like real life to me. I mean, honestly, can't say it in a better way. The river and everything. So let's just get to where we have to go and see how the game looks and how does it perform. So this can actually handle these sort of games pretty well actually. There is no doubt about it. And I mean, the river and the whole game just looks beautiful, honestly speaking. Game just looks really beautiful. I mean, you can literally make out the whole mesh. I was not planning on praising the game, but right now, but it really looks really good in this. And the temps are up to 89 degrees. The moment it crosses 90, we will start seeing some bit of throttling on the GPU front. Not much, but it won't be that noticeable, but a little bit, you know, from 1721 megahertz it would come down to 1707. Then it sort of comes down to 1686, then 1684. So that's how the whole thing works. So 35, 37, 34, the frame rates are pretty solid actually. Let's get into a more taxing side actually. Let's get into a small city or something to see how does the frame rate hold up there. We're already down to 29, 30. Okay, so maybe the city is showing some form of thing. Let's just get into it and see what happens. Okay, so we are out and about and we are in the city. Maybe, yes, we are in the city now. So this is the temple.
Ah, here you are. I've dealt with the trafficking of postcards. Thank you.
I don't want to do any mission right now. Let's just go into the city streets and see how does the performance feel like. There are a lot of NPCs over here and you should see frame drops, but for some reason there aren't. There's a small hitch right now, but I don't know why that was for. And I can see that the GPU is holding pretty solid at 88, 89. Yeah, it's holding pretty solid actually. And with even a lot of NPCs, let's see if the frame rates even come down even more. 34, 33. Is there a more taxing place right now? I know there's a whole city you guys keep on telling me about where I should visit, and that, you know, will really tax my system, but I haven't been there till now. And till now, wherever I've played this game, it just plays well the way I want it to play. I mean, truth be told, I really don't have to do anything much. I'm constantly getting above 30 frames per second. It's a smooth gameplay experience. And yeah, the gameplay is pretty good. See, we are even on the grass area. The game is just looking amazing. No matter what you say, it's looking really good. We are playing Far Cry 5 right now. And this is something that was relatively new for this 2018 game. So around 2 years after this game was released, after this card was released. And you can see we are at ultra settings, and the resolution scale is at 1, so it's 1080p completely ultra settings, and you can see the frame rates pretty solid actually. You can see that for yourself. 40 frames per second, And if you want some more frame rates, well, you can get them. And let's use the mounted gun for now. And see how does the performance feel like. Yeah, so pretty solid performance all in all. Yeah, pretty awesome performance actually. Yeah, the performance is pretty smooth actually. I think it's the best performance till now that I've gotten for, and that too from a proper AAA title. That is 2 years after this GPU was released, which is which nonetheless is saying a very significant thing about this game. And as you could see, that definitely the frame rates for Mafia 3 and the frame rates for Assassin's Creed were nowhere as good as this. Yeah, so I think I would give it 100 out of 100 actually on this, because being a low-end GPU, you really don't expect that after 2 years you get this sort of performance on a AAA game at 1080p. So that's something really good. We are testing out Gears 5 and you can see the fan really ramping up like crazy over here, and you can see the temperature is also rising up like crazy over there at above 90. There might be some issue. I'll just have to check what is that issue. In the meantime, and it's at 100% GPU utilization, so that is at least a decent thing. So let me just check what settings we are using. We go to video, there's 1080p and all settings are set to high. So at high 1080p, and the frame rates that we are getting are, well, let's say pretty decent actually. So 40 plus frames per second mostly, 30 plus to 40 plus frame rate, and it's feeling very smooth actually for some reason. Let's just get into more effect. And the frame rates are pretty solid. So the GPU is still not throttling. I mean, throttling generally means if it's going below 1500, below the base clock. Actually, even at 93 degree, I'm surprised that the GPU is not throttling. So, yeah. Let's see. Okay. So far so good, guys. The game is looking really good, and I've been playing this before even recording for a period of 10 to 15 minutes. So seeming pretty good for a 2019 game, but we all know that this game is really well optimized. But you can make out that this GPU has really not trailed back behind that much as it comes to these many years ago. It was launched so many years ago. So now we're checking out Red Dead Redemption 2. This is basically the epitome of a great game, and this was launched back in December 2019, towards the end somewhere. And this is representative of most of what a modern day game's performance would be like, so there's no gradual decline in the performance of the GTX 1050, but a sharp decline. In 2019, till 2019, most of the games used to run amazingly well. In 2020 onwards, some of the newer games that would come, that would have a similar sort of performance, performance issues as the Red Dead Redemption 2 has on the GTX 1050. I'm putting it at 1080p and 90% resolution scale and 1080p, so slightly less than 1080p, and you can say 1000p actually. And on top of that, these are the settings that I'm using: texture at ultra, rest, everything at medium. And let's just see how the performance is actually. Again, if you want to check out all the other performances of this game, you can, somewhere on the screen I would have posted some card of other gameplay performances. So you can see it's around 30, but it's barely at 30 FPS right now, 30, 31. Even the slightest of, I'll say, extra NPCs would come on the screen, and I'm pretty sure it would come down to 27, 28, 29 FPS. These grass areas, like in GTA 5, are really taxing for the GPU, the GTX 1050. So I have kept it at quite a decent setting actually, normal setting, but you can keep it at even low and you will get much better frame rate than this. Yeah. Yeah, so I think this is pretty decent performance actually, for whatever a GTX 1050 is and what it is delivering right now. But going forward, definitely you'll have some teething issues with it. But just hear me out for a few seconds actually. GTX 1050 is actually a pretty decent performer. The only issue is that laptop manufacturers have brought down the prices of gaming laptops really low, and they have made it really amazing performance by Nvidia itself, which has sort of overtaken the GTX 1050. So even if this amazing laptop, I would, if it would have been a standalone market and it would exist in a vacuum, I would have given this 10 out of 10 even right now. But because that doesn't happen and the GTX 1650 is out there and definitely doing a lot of good things, in terms of performance, I can recommend this exact GPU to buy GTX 1050 based laptops. You can go for MSI GF63, but at the moment I would not suggest that. I would rather say go for the other laptops which I had mentioned earlier, with a full-fledged GTX 1650, rather not a GTX, rather not buying a GTX 1650 that is pared down to a Max-Q variant, which would automatically lose out at least 20% of the performance. So that is my take on this, laptop. Rest, you all can tell me what you all thought. I feel that the gaming performance even right now is amazing. I do plan on buying a new laptop very soon. Let's see which one do I buy. Thank you so much for watching, guys. That is all about this laptop. If you want to know something more besides the gaming performance and everything, you can watch my other reviews, which should be in the description down below. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. See you in the next one.